feel as I it doesn't feel as confident as an IO monkey. So do you think it's going to be nearly as effective? It just doesn't seem that way, right?
It just seems weird, honestly. As I said, maybe mid-Night Stalker can make a little bit of sense because he can actually itemize into right-click damage, you know? But as Void Spirit, you want to go into like a Yules, into Aghanims, into Shiva Guard, Octarine Code, these kind of items, and they just don't add much to your right-click power, honestly. So it's, yeah, it's just awkward. It's an awkward combination.
How's Bob supposed to do here up against Hung? They've moved Hung here to play the Windranger, go up against this Void Spirit.
It's a pretty good Void Spirit lane. Pretty skill-based as well, depends on how many power shots you avoid. But generally, he has better last hitting, better lasted damage, as well as better spells to last it with. So usually goes into the Void Spirit's favor. And then once you hit it, it just depends on who rotates better.
And Enryu's down bottom lane with this Night Stalker, and it's going to be a different Night Stalker game too. Like, we saw the activation of that Night Stalker very early on, first night, and then once that Nature's Prophet had the Orchid, but you have that Night Stalker getting the solo experience, getting the solo farm. Here he's not in the same situation, probably not going to be as effective in that first night, and I think that leaves maybe things to be desired for Vice, right?
Yep, and it's also not a very easy Night Stalker lane against the Batrider plus Earth Spirit. If you ever get like 2 or 3 stickies on you, in position you can die really easily. Oh, I missed the Remnant. He actually might have gotten the kill there because he doesn't have Windrun at all on the Windranger.
Yeah, 1-2-0 so far.
Yeah, very aggressive build. But yeah, now the aggression is over. Both will have the bottle soon. Oh, IO actually picking bottom.
They're looking play some musical lanes. Yeah, at least that's what it looks like so far.
This Night Stalker just wants to get away from the Batrider, I feel. It's a very rough lane. And also IO against Weaver doesn't sound that fun. But then again, Night Stalker against Weaver doesn't sound that fun either. Or just Weaver, an unfun hero.
And the thing too is like, Batrider can still make that move over towards top. It would be really bad if you lose the win. Just TPing down here. Tag team was used, ran in a little trouble. He backs off this Tusk. But will we see the Weaver and the Bat changers, their matchup just fine enough where they can keep it where it's at?
Their matchup is fine enough. I mean, Weaver would bully both of those heroes.
Yeah.
So he doesn't really have to change anything. And Batrider, I mean, you see IO can't really die to Batrider because he has his tether ability, but he'll still farm just fine.
The choice is
and still pressure the IO. Lane should be okay. It will just be coming down to the Void Spirit only.
Going for red again. They'll use the snowball. They have the tag team first blood for Palos. Vice. They get themselves first blood, but at the same time, Hustla's over mid, and they get the kill on a Bob. A little bit of a similar situation in the first game where we saw the fact that Bob was getting decent CS, but that didn't really translate into, you know, the proper mid game.
Yep. And there's one thing that we forgot to mention. This IO Tusk lane is actually incredibly strong. Tag team plus overcharge is you have so much attack speed, so much damage, and you know Batrider again, trouble, and yeah, same thing.
Back to back, and he probably just TP'd in there, so that means it's the walk of shame.
This overcharge ability is just too good with tag team. Like you actually, it's permanent slow because you have so much attack speed that you can't move at all. You have a snowball on top, you have ice shards on top if it doesn't have Firefly. It's a very, very good combination.
So the Night Stalker actually just TP'd back to the tier 1 tower up towards top. He was getting harassed. Is that a moment now where you have maybe Batrider walk towards top, swap the lane, have Weaver go bottom?
It is definitely worth a consideration now because he only has 8 CS, 2 deaths already.
Yeah.
And a Batrider, you need to have some sort of game, you know? You're not like a super good catch-up hero because you can't farm the Ancients anymore. A lane swap might be in order, yeah. But even then, it's nighttime soon. So you want to go to a Night Stalker at nighttime? Tough now.
Especially when you're behind at this point. Like, Night Stalker's 19-2. His lane has been a little bit more of an easier situation after alleviating the pressure that was that Batrider.
Yep.
So you could just be walking into another bad situation. It almost feels like Batrider. His lane is, he's having a bad situation, and his laning is not looking good.
Yeah, honestly, the first death already, he was just caught out of position with half health. That shouldn't have happened. And second death is pretty, you know, unforgiving because you just TP back.
So.
Like if you die again, TP has 80 seconds cooldown. You now have a Walk of Shame with 8 CS. I'm not sure, honestly, where his impact is going to come from at this point. Because he's not supposed to lose bot lane this hard.
Yeah, it's definitely an issue. And you're having a good time for Vice.
Yep.
Take something away from that first game for Vice. Their first 7-8 minutes was decent.
It was good, it was good. They just, once 496 started the aggression, Vice could not deal with it. But this game, I think they're probably going to be a bit more prepared for it mentally, as well as strategically also. They have good heroes to fight back this time. They have quite good counter initiation with the IO, relocate out, you know, have Snowball, Nighttime with the Silence. They have a lot of good tools, for sure.
And maybe we'll see Vice being the aggressors on this one.
I think they will be, because 496's late game, I feel, is quite a bit better. So they can be comfortable with just, you know, letting them run at you, and you just kind of respond. But again, it's not 496's style, you know, like they want to be the ones running at you. So either way, they will probably start running at you. Like, this is just how this team plays. They don't pick any hard carries or anything.
You definitely have the lineup to run at them, right? You've got that long range initiation, that reach from the Earth Spirit, where he could just roll in, start with that, and then maybe you've got the Windranger following that up with a Shackle, and then Weaver's there. Like, they could definitely pull that situation where it's 496, and we're just going to run at you the entire time and jump down your throats and make sure that we slow down any progression that you're making.
Yep. And again, Weavers is one of the most aggressive carries. With that spam Musakushi, he has a lot of potential, especially against this IO and Rubick. At the same time, though, he has to be very careful he doesn't give the Sakushi away, because a Rubick with that spell is incredibly potent for setting up ganks, just for teamfight damage, survivability. It's just an amazing spell to steal on Rubick, so be careful to not give that away too easily.
These Ags and Ag cards around the board. The Swarm on that Ags shard and the time lapse with the Ags.
His shard is one of the better ones, because Glimmer Cape doesn't help anymore, because it goes through invisibility. So it's a pretty good anti-support item, as well as every person where the Beetle is latched onto, you auto-attack them once with Gemini attack. But it's a pretty good increase in DPS, and as I said, it counters a couple of support items.
So, if you're getting shard on Weaver, obviously that's a 1,400 gold investment. Where are you getting that? Obviously, there's a point where you need to wait for 20 minutes, then you can get the shard, but what is that replacing? Because, like, say with a Wraith King who maybe is dealing with mana burn, he has to get that 1,400 gold shard, and that's immediately 20 minutes. I need it. I'll get it. But for this Weaver, is that as simple as that, or is he looking for 1 or 2 items before that?
Earliest, like, I would ever buy it is after Maelstrom BKB. But you need those 2 core items. Maelstrom, of course, to farm faster. BKB just so the Night Stalker doesn't run you down.
Yeah.
And after those 2 items, you could get it, but then again, there's probably better items to get. You know, you could upgrade to a Glebnir, or you could just go to Crystallis, maybe even a Skadi if you want that, or MKB. You know, there's lots of good choices. And the shard always, you know, it feels probably nice to have it, but 1,400 is a hefty investment.
I think that's a lot of what people miss. They're like, oh, the shard is so broken. But you still have to make the investment.
Yeah.
And where you're putting that investment, how you're getting to that investment is a big part of a lot of these heroes. Can they even get to that point where it's like, I've got 1,400 gold, do I sacrifice that to get my shard? Or am I in a position where I need something else?
Yeah. I think the best shards are the ones that replace like core items. For example, on the Shaker, the shard basically allows you to not need a Blink Dagger. So that's like a really good investment, because it's cheaper and it's somewhat of a replacement. But you know, like this more luxury shards, it's hard to justify to get them. See the chase here on a Earth Spirit. It's rolling out.
Rolls out and then goes right back and around, because they've got Home coming over. That Shackle doesn't land, but the power shot is there. They'll take out the Rubick. They'll end up losing Hustla, but will they get Enryu? Aether Remnant locks up Hung. He'll still put some aggression onto Bob. He's got the help from Bombi.
Shackle. Oh no!
There's the Shackle power shot. They stood next to each other. It's always the one in the back.
Always. But what was that? They knew he had a Shackle.
Lined up right for it.
They were like, yo, I'm here. Shackle me. Alright, I'll do that. Right, that was pretty silly. I don't know.
And that really helps Hung's game out.
It does. Like, he was not supposed to get that kill there. They had one kill on the Rubick, okay, fine, but the second one on Night Stalker was pretty unnecessary.
Yeah, the +1 is where it really becomes detrimental. So they'll bring the Night Stalker over. Enryu here with Bob and
Mid again.
Tusk of Zenki. Natural stab, snowball coming in. They've got 3 heroes here for this kill onto Hung. It's aggression over mid, and they needed to stop that Windranger. You give them 2 kills like that, you need to get something back.
Questions or nice rune snacks here.
Structures are
Well done,
fortified.
but they didn't really need a Night Stalker, you know, he's level 4 and he's beat mid lane.
Dire's
And he's kind of
structures are
pulling
fortified.
creeps now. I'm not sure what he's doing, to be
Dire's
honest,
middle
but
tower is under attack.
I guess they just want to pressure the mid tower as much as they can. You know, like, you're giving up a lot of your Night Stalker. You had a pretty good game.
You're not going anywhere.
Good check kill.
Yeah, Shackle and the roll. But now the one in trouble is the Earth Spirit. Hustla, he commits to this hit. Got Hunghung here again, who's looking to go under the tower. Use that geomagnetic grid. They'll go into the dissimulate. Now they find themselves Hunghung with the snowball. They bring over Palos. They've got the damage and the kill. 5 heroes for Vice.
Now who's the
Bombi
aggressive
showing
one?
up, and
Radiant's
yeah, it's
bottom tower
completely
is
turned
under
from the
attack.
last game. Bombi on the run, 3 heroes going past the tier 1 tower. Should be able to get some damage onto Bombi, but the question is, do they get the kill?
Radiant's
Roll
turret
missing,
has been
splitting the
killed.
seams of the entire side of Vice, but here comes Datbb.
Radiant's
Hustla in
bottom
trouble
tower
once
is
again.
under attack.
They get the kill out of the Earth Spirit, dead for like the 2nd time this fight. Snowball onto Datbb, and now their focus goes onto the
Radiant's
Tusk, but
courier
he'll just
has been
TP
killed.
away. They'll relocate the rest. That is a great exit from Vice.
Very great exit, very great rotations as well. Now they're the ones, you know, putting the aggression onto 496 actually. Very impressive. The way they rotated, the way they fought that fight. Of course, we could tell the Batrider is just way too poor to do anything. He's still level 5. If he was level 6, he could have probably done a lot more, you know, but being level 5, you saw him come in there at the end and just couldn't do anything, just keep it out.
Yeah, there's not much for him to do, and I thought maybe for a moment that might be like a lot of commitment from Vice. You have 5 heroes there opening up the map, but once the Weaver and the Batrider come in and join, and they're not just farming, they're not just getting their experience, it feels like maybe, you know, the commitment's fine.
Yeah, I mean, usually overcommitment is just bad if the enemy does not respond, you know? But if they also send more resources there, then it's usually pretty worth it. Looks like a pretty easy kill on the Wyvern.
Into Remnant Natural Stab, looking for the ult. He's not really doing that much damage though. Zenki, Tusk, probably the one who ends up dead, but he's got the snowball back to the lane. They'll look for the roll. They've got the power shot. Finally, Zenki drops. And Hung at least gets something out of that.
Yep.
Meanwhile, you've got Wisp, who's still farming. He's at about 4K. He's having a great time going into that Ags after the Helmet Dominator. Always have that neutral with him.
It's just so good, man. 500 movements to be permanently. And yeah, you can just see this Windranger. Her ult actually just tickles people without that javelin. It's like, what, 10, 15, 20 damage per hit is really laughable. If I did, you know, try to go for the javelin a bit earlier. But yeah, he will have it soon. 300 gold, and he can start to make some moves by himself as well.
Yeah, I think he had it queued, but then the aggression came in, he died.
Yeah.
And it just put him so far back, because it would have been a good timing after that those 2 kills in the river. And then they were like, well, we can't get him to this javelin, we have to aggress on him, and that's exactly what they
Radiant's
did. They
middle
slowed him down.
tower is under attack.
Nicely put together by Vice.
They saw the
trying to make
smoke.
something happen.
They saw the smoke. So they're setting up very nicely on it for the high ground.
Yeah, the Tusk is there in a great spot to just put smoke. I don't think he did anything. They're still gonna go though. They've got the silence off the Weaver. Can they get him out? No, the crippling fear is long enough. It's nighttime. And Vice all over Joe. Hustla getting low. Not gonna be enough from the cold race to save his life. Shackle comes through. Batrider here. They'll take the Night Stalker. They lose Bombi. The chase is on. Looking for red. Batrider, he should be okay as long as he doesn't step right back into these heroes on Vice. Still though, 3 dead on the side of 496, and losing that Weaver is the big one.
From the void.
Yep. Has a relocate. I would have liked to see that relocate.
That should help.
Got the bounty runes, to be honest. Instead, he destroyed it with a super beat. Because honestly, that's one of the best things you can do when you're IO.
Going in for the Batrider.
See if I get a solo kill?
Yeah, tag team with Walrus Punch. He gets it.
Alright. Easy.
Power shot. Oh.
That was not charged. If that was charged a little bit longer.
know if he had the
Dire's
time,
middle
right as that
tower
power
is
shot
under
came in,
attack.
he was already gone.
Yep, that was a super close one. But now, you see, Vice is suddenly the team that just outplays 496. Let's do this in game 1. The Winter Wyvern again, one more Astral Stab.
They throw out the Winter's Curse. They've got the control on the two. Get them together. It's only on the Void Spirit. The right click damage coming in, but it's not enough just yet. The other clip going to get the kill on the Bombi. Now they look over at Bob with the relocate. Just in the nick of time. Hustla's over here. But I'm not sure he's going to be ready for that Walrus Punch on the Datbb. But for Zenki to have Aether Remnant right on the Hustla, goes to the Assimilate, looks for some distance between him and the side of 496, but continuing to roll in his Hustla. Datbb looking for something there, and they're just coming away with their hands empty.
Yep.
Snowball tag team, Astral Step, Hustla dead, Datbb, he might be able to get two here. They've come into his hands with the Aether Remnant with the Assimilate. Now the Shikuchi power shot misses, but he goes up the hill, he spots the Wisp, he says,
Yeah.
keep your life.
IO is, it's so scary to play against IO, honestly. You never know how much he's actually gonna heal you. So take your distance, take your time, patience, but this Batrider is absolutely crippled. What is he going? Did he go for Blink first?
Pretty far behind.
No, he went for Travels, okay. Picking up Travels when you're struggling this much.
Roll in with her Palos. This would be a massive kill. Geomagnetic Grip. They've got the silence. The snowball. So that saves, and this is the counter play. He's got the Void Spirit ready to go. He's got Walrus Punch on the Earth Spirit. There's no sign to get on the Palos. The Spirits, they get the kill. Winter's Curse is on the Night Stalker. They finally finish off Palos. They look over. The Shackle's not going to connect anything but on the range. So they've gotten a 2 for 2 so far, though. The more they hit the last, so that was stolen. They lose Bob, they lose Zenki, might be a full team wipe, will be a full team wipe. 496 massively coming back with that one, and now the lead's just 1K.
Bombi, God. Did you see the Winter's Curse? He literally killed two people by himself, pretty much. And he fought 4 heroes. This guy is legit. Like, he's gonna get picked up. If they don't make it big, he's gonna get picked up by some really big teams.
496, they look like one of those teams that's a dark horse. So let's take a look at that handiwork once again. Bombi was ready for it, and look, it looked like a moment where maybe Vice can take advantage of this. They got the snowball, they go in aggressive, it did save the life of the Wisp. Maybe they didn't want Palos there, but look as they start to group up. Enryu right in the center, there's the Winter's Curse, the Splinter Blast comes through, it's off the creeps, keeps it next to Palos, gets the kill on the Wisp. It's perfect work from Bombi. The stolen lasso from the Rubick, I thought was going to be enough to maybe get the damage out. They have the snowball to follow it up on the Windrunner, but just not enough. As they finish off Bob, they take out Zenki, and then they take out this Rubick, and they get the full team wipe. That brings them right back into the game. They were struggling.
They were 4K behind. Now they're only 1K behind, and yeah, they're getting their core items up. Trying to dive the Winter Wyvern here.
Bombi's a little bit scary.
Okay, guys. Do you really want to dive him? Or is he gonna dive you? Ooh. The Weaver is struggling though. Weaver is quite poor.
Yeah. This could be something that helps him out though. They have the shackle, they'll look for the damage. Palos in some trouble. Focus fire on him. It's Hung who gets the kill. Weaver there to help magnetize.
Oh, the Firefly.
On the Rubick. Firefly's not gonna help you get out of that one though. Hustla getting the second kill in that bottom lane. Meanwhile, Winter Wyvern.
Radiant's bottom
Didn't
tower
commit the
is under
nighttime
attack.
for that. Or rather the dark extension.
Dire's top tower
It is, right?
under
Yeah,
attack.
like when he starts flying, like, you run.
Radiant's
I think
bottom
Nightstalker
tower
himself
is
is
under
a
attack.
very scary
Dire's
hero. If
structures
you
are
experienced that in the
fortified.
wild, that actually existed, one of the scarier ones.
If he gets a shot, he would outright eat you.
Radiant's
Because
bottom
that's actually
tower
what his shot
has
does.
fallen.
You just get eaten.
Radiant structures are
I don't need
fortified.
that.
Same. I
Dire's
don't want to
top
get eaten
tower
like that.
is under attack.
I don't want to get eaten at all. Not like that only, but just saying, that is the most brutal way.
That's one of the ways you don't want to go, is getting eaten.
By a Night Stalker.
Brood,
Radiant
definitely one of those
are
ones you
scanning.
don't want to get eaten by.
Dire's
Yep.
top tower has fallen.
Use for the Void Spirit, then going into the Ags. We'll have that silence once he gets that Ags.
Yep.
One of the things that I think that is a bit of a problem for 496 is the Cold Embrace almost feels like it's setting up an Aether Remnant every time.
Sabotage? Yeah, but at the same time, nullifies the damage out pretty much. Tusk is all physical, Night Stalker is pretty much all physical. When IO has Aghanims, you have to be really
Dire's
careful
top
though, because
tower
those
is under
spirits, they will
attack.
hurt. And if you hold and break someone of your teammates and he's out of position, that's going to be very painful. Did he finish his axe already? I think he did. They're about to come out in the courier. And now they have this axe timing on this IO. Doesn't have the spirit damage yet. Still quite a while off. But yeah, now it's go time for Radiant, I think. Because they're getting picked apart right now.
They should be able to fight into them until, what, the BKB comes out for the Windrunner as well as the Weaver?
Yeah, they definitely need to use the timing where, you know, the Weaver is pretty weak, the Batrider doesn't want to weak. They're going for 3 BKBs basically. The pickup here.
Great flame break in Balasso. I always enjoy seeing that combination. Snowball to extend his life. Is it extending the inevitable? Looks to be the case. Shackle lands, power shots, finishing blow. Meanwhile, the Wyvern, Bombi throws the Winter's Curse defensively. They're going to rotate over the Windrunner into the mid-tier 2. See if that ends up being enough, because they might turn this around. Shackle doesn't connect. Focus fire. Night Stalker coming in, and I think Hunghung has had enough.
It was a huge commitment. He was like, Shackle ult.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what he thought he would catch there. Batrider a little bit of trouble here.
Silence, crippling fear, and now see with the wing run. They've got the telekinesis on a Hung. They're trying to take this fight. Bob's getting really low. Astral step away. Not sure that's going to be enough. They've got the time lapse used by this Weaver.
IO saved him again.
Shards on a Bombi. Snowball, cold embrace once again. Shadow connects. The Night Stalker in the back once again. Power shot not charging too much. He's already been placed down. They've got a magnetize on all 5 heroes. They're going to go in. They'll take out 4. The only one alive is Palos. And just like that, another team wipe for 496.
There was so much AoE damage by his Earth Spirit. He magnetized 5, he slowed 5, he silenced 5. Wow! What is happening? Like, the supports are popping off, man.
Yeah, that was perfect.
But it all started off with a
Hustla.
shackle, which was an amazing shackle. To shackle a Night Stalker when he's flying is brutal. But, wow. Oh, and then a disconnect by Vice. This feels bad. This is moral damage right there. Mental damage, you know. You get wiped and then you disconnect. Whew.
Let's watch it again. Let's watch the handiwork.
Look at the shackle. Sets
Pay
it all
attention
up.
to the Earth Spirit, everybody. This is where it's going to get brutal for Vice, who have, up to this point, played really well. I think they just didn't really keep it together. They looked for red, then they saw Hung, they had the telekinesis, they switched their targets a couple times. They're a little bit back and forth. Where are we fighting? Where are we going? They're trying to heal up Bob. They're going to go through here. Shards.
Comes the
That's a
shackle.
big commitment from the Tusk, and then the Shackle. They'll try and help, and immediately Earth Spirit. He's
Look at
on the
him.
case. Here it comes, all 5 of them just right together. Geomagnetic grip on everybody into this magnetize. Flame break, I think, hit all 5 too. They just kill off all these heroes on Vice, and that is the combo from 496. Wow. That is perfectly put together. It is rare that you see a 5-man magnetize like that.
Yeah.
With no like Magnus help or any other help. That was, everybody was positioned. I'm gonna throw that magnetize and the geomagnetic grip. I don't know when the last time, if at all, I've ever seen a 5-man geomagnetic grip.
Not only that, also the Q, of course, his Boulder Smash slowed all 5 heroes, deals massive amounts of damage.
Yeah.
He just rolled into 5 heroes. They were all so clumped up. Power shot through the, what's it called?
The flame break as well.
Flame break, yeah, and
just
the
about everybody.
blast. What's it called? The splitter blast?
Yeah.
Splittering blast, whatever. So much AoE damage. Brutal.
Take a look at
Brutal
Hustle's
performance.
stats. 12 assists, 3 kills. He's had 6 stats up to this point, but when you're mostly leading the charge, your Batrider struggling to get a Blink Dagger, you're the one who has to roll in and initiate, you're gonna die a couple times.
Yep. And then you make plays like this. Doesn't matter how many
And it's
times
all
you
worth
died.
it.
Yep.
G ready to go. Everybody back for the side of Vice, who were in the driver's seat. They looked really good. It's a bad fight. That's
a bad fight.
Yeah, it's a back-to-back.
They were ahead 4K.
Look at the experience.
Yeah, now they're behind 4K. Experience massively in favor of 496. And when they get the 3 BKBs up, it's lights out for Radiant. They
Radiant's
have no
bottom
damage.
tower is under
Yeah,
attack.
and this is going to be where 496 put in and initiate the game plan. Aggression.
Yeah. On the Wyvern, by the way.
Yeah, get that positioning. Look
He's
for the Winter's
rich.
Curse.
He's rich.
Yeah.
How did he get that?
He's ahead of the Earth Spirit by 100 gold.
Yeah.
And he's almost where the Void Spirit is. That's pretty interesting too.
The Void Spirit's
shocked at where the
struggling.
Void Spirit's just continuing to struggle. That seems like... I thought he was having a much better game than that.
Bob is having a rough series for sure.
Yeah, well, the first game was certainly rough, and now the second one. There's still time he can get to that Axe, and things could turn around. I'm not saying this game is over by any means for Vice, but that is a massive turnaround for 496. That was played on perfect execution, especially by Hustla.
Now he has a Vessel up as well. Yeah, I mean, they just kind of want to sit back and counterplay all the aggression of Radiant right now because they want to farm at the 3 BKBs. Once they have the 3 BKBs, it's going to be all out aggression time. Probably Roshan. They just want to force a Roshan fight. But until then, you just want to split push the map and, you know, minimize the damage they can deal around the map.
Yeah, we saw that Rubick took the power shot. That's always a strong one to throw back. Full duration power shot. It feels like one of the best skills that he can get in this game. Especially, you know, anything you get from Urge Spirit, you're not really utilizing the right ways. If you're a Rubick, power shot feels like the one. You said Chikuchi is really good because then he can be a nuisance, he can find good positioning, and then like Lasso.
Yes, and Shackle Shot is one of the best as well. Windranger has a whole array of good spells to steal.
Yeah, for sure. It feels like a
high ground
Rubick game.
without vision though.
Yeah, it's tough. They've got the silence out of the Wyvern. Zenki thinking about jumping in, but Datbb now going after Enryu. The shards don't block him out. They're going to have a roll here from Hustla. Storm hits. Enryu in trouble. The Shikuchi on him. The boulder smash. Geomagnetic grip's not needed. They get the kill there onto Enryu. They take out Zenki. It's Hung with another kill. And here's the aggression that we were talking about. 496 immediately jumping into the deep end and looking to put the pressure on Vice.
I think they're going to play
Flame break into the lasso. He's hit that combo a couple times. It's not going to get the kill just yet, but you're having heroes rotate. They're ready to go on to Bob. They'll use their dissimulate, go back to the high ground, right into the Firefly. He ends up dead, and they've got the chase to get the kill. They look for more. They find the Rubick, and they take out 4, looking for a 5th, and there it is, the roll with the Magnetize. They've got the Spirit Vessel. Oh, the rolling boulder stops him in his tracks. No tether for you. And now Enryu's trying to turn this one around with a power shot. It's not going to do enough damage to get the kill. They've got the snowball to take out this Earth Spirit, but they're still looking to go in deep. They'll find themselves Palos, but they don't have the damage. The Weaver not committing under the tier 2 tower. The power shot comes in. Enryu, a lot of these heroes on the side of Vice running away with barely any health.
Yeah, it was a sick play by the Earth Spirit, but you know, sometimes when you have this kind of plays, it's like it baits you into a bad situation. You're like, oh, I cancel that thing, and then you like start diving him, you know, which of course in the end cost him and his teammates his life. But yeah, it was a sick play nonetheless. Oh, he stole Sakushi. Yeah,
he's trying to stick up with him. He ducked him too. But again, made one of those good plays, and it puts you in a bad position where now you're dead.
Man. You hate to see it.
The Datbb tip after that.
I mean, he wants to, you know, he was feeling himself on Rubick. I got this so. He just like drives in.
On Rubick. You steal a spell, you land something, you got the dust, and all of a sudden you're like, Rubick he's a pretty strong support. You want to just go in there and make something happen, make a play. Because there's so many good Rubick players, it feels like you're always living into, you know, the legend that is all these like FYs and everybody.
YGH, all these players, yeah. And then you realize, I just have 900 health. I'm not actually that tanky. Now they're going to Roshan. They have Beetle, they have Focus Fire.
Nature's Curse.
Yeah. And there's no nighttime on Radiant. So this is a tough fight to take for Radiant.
Yeah, Dark Ascension on cooldown. Yep. Going for this Roshan, also looking to maybe defend it and go for a fight. They're exactly finish right away, but they've got the lasso. Now the snowball comes in. Roshan very low, the power shot coming through. They don't get the kill into the Void Spirit. Now this is kicked by Hung. Now they'll look to finish off the rest. They take out Bombi. The Witcher's Curse is going to keep Palos in place. Assimilate onto the high ground. They get Bob away. A couple more shots might be enough. The rolling boulder in. Bob ends up dead. It's a 1-for-1 so far, but here comes the rest of 496. Flame Break pushes them back. They've got someone going through onto the Batrider with hitting out of Palos. They look over as they relocate out. They're out of the sight of 496 for now, but eventually let's see them come back.
Run. Marathon. Yeah, you definitely just want to disengage here. It's way too scary with the Io just coming back at full health.
Yeah.
Who also managed to farm out a BKB. He's actually leading the net worth still by quite a bit, even though they have been under so much pressure.
Yeah, the fact that they're down 8,000 net worth and still you've got a Wisp top of the net worth. There are different scenarios where you've got heroes that can definitely hold the game when they're top of the net worth and the rest of the team's really not got a lot of farm, but I don't know if Wisp feels like that kind of hero that can carry 4 other heroes on his back to victory.
I mean, we spoke about it, right? If you don't have at least one partner that you can actually empower and make use of, Io feels kind of meh in the late game, the late mid game as well. So we'll see. Like the Night Stalker will have to step up. Oh, they're smoking in from behind here.
Radiant's bottom tower
Trying to come
is
in
under
from the
attack.
back. Enryu
Here's
leading the
BKB.
charge.
And
Dire's
Aegis.
top tower
That's
is
not
under
the target we
attack.
want.
Fight.
Yeah. But they might just want to. Oh,
Let's go for the tower.
but
you know,
Shackle.
Shackle's going out. It's not going to connect though. They're still going to go for this. They've got the Rubick coming around. They have the telekinesis. They'll have Enryu jump forward, but he's going to the back lines. He's looking for the Winter Wyvern. He wants to take the Witcher's Curse as well as the Coda Breaks. Out of the fight. Palos comes in as well as Jack onto the Night Stalker. They have the control. Enryu in trouble. There's the Coda Breaks. The Night Stalker tried to bite off more than he can chew, especially in the nighttime with the bigger mouth. Palos magnetized geomagnetic grip. The roll once again. They've got the Spirit Vessel telekinesis coming through from Samael. Hustla, shackled. That's the stolen shackle from Rubick. He's starting to feel himself. There's the snowball and one more right click from Palos. But the power shot, oh, the damage not quite there. He'll use the Walrus Punch to slow down this Batrider, but the shackle connects. The damage is there, and eventually he will fall. But they got the shackle on the Batrider as well as the Windranger, as well as the Windranger. They get to go to this toss. They'll take out the Rubick. They'll look for another one. Bob falling. They tried to re-engage. Again, the shackle hits the Windrunner as well as the Batrider. And it's like, this is our moment to jump in. It's almost like every time they land something that feels like that turnaround, they commit so heavily to it, and it's not working out.
Yeah, I mean, this was a fantastic play by Bombi once again. A fantastic curse with the blink initiation. I mean, we said they're outplaying 496, but now the table's turned again. 496 is outplaying them in every team fight, pretty much. And it's all getting set up, honestly, by Hustla. Even though he's dying, you know, he's setting up good fights for his team. So those are not bad deaths at all.
Yeah. If your death garners kills in result, I think it's fine.
Especially for support.
Yeah.
Because, like, there's not much to give away.
Yeah, if it's a different story when it's like the Weaver dies and you get 2 kills and, well,
Yeah.
if it's just the Earth Spirit and then you can turn that around, that's fine.
Definitely.
There are moments still, like, I understand that Vice is down 12k, but there are still moments where it's like a flash in the pan. They look really good, things get hot for them real quick, and it falls apart really fast. Like that shackle from the Rubick was onto the Windrunner. It connected with the Batrider. It kept that fight, I think, winnable, but at the end of the day, it doesn't go their way, and it feels like that's just circumstance of the fact that Night Stalker and Void Spirit don't have really that much farm compared to the Wisp.
Yeah, I think the biggest problem right now is just that they're quite disconnected. You saw the Night Stalker was diving the Wyvern alone.
Yeah,
and
nobody
then
can help him.
They drip in one by one, you know? They're not 5 there. Like, if you want to match the aggression of 496, we saw it last game, you need
Radiant's
to bring
top
all the
tower
numbers,
has fallen.
which is exactly what I did in the early game, and they smashed 496's aggression, you know?
Yeah.
So that's what you have to do, even now, if you're behind. That's the only way to combat this aggression.
And you can't be sprinkling in one by one. It has to be a full commitment. Communication has to be there. There's the crippling fear, and again, the Night Stalker is really deep going to the backlines, but he's not going to land as the Winter Wyvern blinks away. I think he's blink forward, trying to make an aggressive play, but they've got the Witch's Curse. They've found a Palos. The Night Stalker is in a lot of trouble. Bombi with the Coda Breaks. He's going to survive for a little bit longer. They've got the silence onto the Night Stalker. As they take out Palos, they'll take out the Rubick. They've got themselves 30 heroes dead. As Tusk had fallen earlier, Enryu drops, and that is nobody gone on the side of 496. Again, aggression hurting Vice. The play, the idea is there, the execution isn't. If they just tweak it a little bit, you could see those fights turning and maybe being in their favor.
Structures are fortified.
I would say a lot tougher at this point when you're down this much, but
Definitely.
Earlier on, that's where the communication kind of melted down, and if they had succeeded with that execution earlier, it could have been a whole different story.
But even this fight,
Radiant's
you know,
top tower is
they're
under
taking this
attack.
fight, but Void Spirit is not even part of it. He's farming mid lane. If he
Yeah.
was there, the Winter Wyvern is dead,
dead.
the curse on the IO won't happen, and maybe it's a completely different fight, you know? Just bring all your numbers.
Spotted out, snowball, Walrus trying to get some time to lead. The roll is in once again, the stars don't matter. They've also got the lasso on Rubick. This should mean another kill. It will be crippling fear. The jump forward one by one by one. They are trickling into this fight, and each time they're losing their life.
Radiant's top
I
tower
mean, at this
is under
point,
attack.
probably it's a lot of mental damage caused already.
I think it could be a little bit of frustration too. We've
Yeah.
seen them disconnect 3 or 4 times.
Radiant's
That could
middle tower
really.
is under attack.
I know sometimes if I disconnect from a game, it
Radiant's
pulls me
top
out mentally
tower is
sometimes.
fallen.
I mean, especially after the team fight middle, where like 3 of them disconnected after they got
Yeah.
team wiped. Like, this sets a lot of people on edge,
Radiant's
you know?
middle tower
Like,
has
you already
fallen.
lost this fight, and then you have like internet problems too, or whatever it was. It's just
your mind is not fully focused. It's worrying about another thing, which is, am I going to lag? Is this a problem? You're not able to just keep everything tunneled into the game. And that's another feat you have to kind of, another obstacle you have to get over.
Yeah, it's hard.
It's really hard.
Like honestly, half of Dota, I'm sure at this point we all know it's mental. But good Shackle on 2 again.
Yeah, Shackle onto the Night Stalker as well as this whip. Mayo's going to pop the BKB. Palos trying to run, but the damage is there. They've got the kill from Datbb. Over to the Night Stalker again. Enryu on the run, but can't make it out. And once upon a time was a moment where he could fly over the trees and make the escape. Not this time.
I mean, even just plays like relocating in to just hit the tier 1 tower gets punished so severely. Like they're in the head 100%. The Shackle shot amazing on both the IO and the Night Stalker once more. And it just, like, the rotation seems so seamless, you know?
Yeah.
Like everything they do, it just works out.
It's an extension from that first game. We talked about their execution, we talked about their movements. It felt like they had heroes that naturally have global presence, but in the end, it's 496 who have just
Radiant's top
used
tower
their movements and used their
attack.
communication to execute so well. And it really has been he's got the lasso. They'll get the kill on Bob. Another pick off for 496. Meanwhile, crippling fear. They're just trying to chase. Seems like maybe a little bit of, anger coming their way, or just trying to make up for all this lost ground. And it's not looking right. He dies, and then they go after Zenki, finishing off the top 3 heroes yet again. And this is knocking right on the bottom tier 3. They'll look over the Rubick. The flame break pushes it back. They've got the Shackle. It doesn't connect anywhere, however. And Palos trying to make something happen, but he really can't do much. They get the kill onto this Rubick. He'll buy back immediately. The Winter's Curse is placed on him, keeping him in place. And now Dire, they start to retreat. The buyback starting to trickle through. They've got the Blue Spirit up in about 5 seconds. Cold Embrace staying alive. Power Shot coming in onto the Tusk. This is Vice trying to throw everything in the kitchen
Radiant's
sink,
bottom tower
but
is under attack.
they've just got a tiny home. And it's not...
I have bunching for you.
This relocate could be punished again.
Trying to at least.
Potentially.
One guy's gonna die.
Yeah, at least the Tusk is gone. Zenki getting taken out.
I'm a big fan of the itemization as well on Dire side. First time we've seen Fnatic carry IO. They did not build Vessel, they did not build Skadi, they did not build Shivas. This game they have Skadi as well as Vessel, which just makes IO so much weaker. Like the healing on yourself and your teammates is just cut by half, even more.
Shackle on the money again. And they'll look for Bob once more. Bombi, he's killed by Enryu. They had heroes down there. They left the Winter Wyvern by himself.
Radiant
Unable to help out, but Windranger now coming over. Focus Fire throws the Shackle. This is a little aggressive by himself. We'll see if it ends up paying off. They get the kill onto the Rubick, and it is certainly paying off for now. Crippling Fear right on top of the Earth Chariot. The silence is there, the damage too. They get the kill. He'll finish off the pipe, but he's dead for 67 seconds though. Buyback. Palos pops the BKB, turns around, going for Hung. And well, Enryu, he's getting burned alive by this Batrider. Body blocked and will burn out. Red gets the kill. They look over at Palos. The Centaur stuns him up, but he's got an BKB. He has the lasso ready to go. They'll hold him in place. They'll keep him right next to the Batrider. And finally joining them is Datbb. They'll go after Palos, who's trying to TP out, but the damage comes in just in time. And Wisp is gone again.
Yep, very close. Getting out of there. Skadi just, applying that heal reduction, so he can't make it out in time.
Itemizing perfectly.
Yep, very good itemization. Very good team. Honestly, 496's team play is just amazing. Like, you just see it all the time. They just bring enough people to every location just so they can make it work. And then at the same time, they go in another spot. And then they go in another lane again. They go in another lane again. It's just so hard to keep up if you're the enemy team.
And this
Dark Horse.
We're aiming for that major spot.
Yep.
And here we are.
I mean, Vice, maybe a curse here. No, just not in time. Vice is not considered one of the best teams in this upper division, of course, but
It's still a statement.
Radiant's bottom
This
tower is under
is
attack.
how you want to dismantle teams, that are considered quote-unquote weaker, if you want to be a contender for that major spot. And they're showing it here. They're relentless.
Shikuchi, Datbb, he'll just Shikuchi away himself. Reaver on the duel, Winter's Curse, lots of the Void Spirit as well as the Night Stalker. They are both in trouble with the Shackle on them again, and Tusk joins this fight, but it's just a die to get the kill on the Bomb Enryu, and Zenki taking out all three of those. Buyback on the Night Stalker, but you're fighting 3 into 5. Probably not the best scenario, as the BKB's been popped by the Batrider. The Crippling Spear is about to run out. Again, the Dire can just reinitiate. Flame Break, Lasso comes through on Palos. He's tethered up, but it's not going to be for long. Palos pops the BKB. The damage coming through from Hunghung, and they will take out Palos. The walk over. The Shackle doesn't connect, but it's still a full team wipe for the side of 496. Vice. Are they going to call it? Is it time to pack it up?
I think, you know, I've been in this situation many times. I think the longer you stay in these kind of games, of course it's the last game, you know, if you lose this series is over, but this is causing a lot of damage mentally, you know? Like, nobody likes this, obviously, and it's not something you should put yourself through. This is a pretty unwinnable spot at this point, so but they want to play it out, you know, can't blame them for it. Last chance they have in the series, might make it work, you know. Stranger things can happen. Yeah, let's put it that way. Maybe if they, you know, want to play around, dive the fountain or whatever. But this is what has to happen at this point, honestly. Like, they're not losing if they play straight.
Gotta go for broke, telekinesis.
And the fountain, there we are. But Ghost have the purchase right away. This high experience coming in.
And then he's just gonna roll. He's got the magnetize.
I mean,
they try to kill me by throwing me in your well. All of a sudden, in your well, you get killed by a power shot.
I didn't experience it, no.
Lasso on the road story, still getting control. They'll take him out once again. Bob falling.
Yep.
Once more.
This feels very much like my top game yesterday.
Here's Silence coming out. They've got the Spirit Vessel on the Night Stalker. Killed off Winter's Curse on a Palos as well as the top. They're basically stepping up the door saying, end this, just say GG. Rampage on the Windranger. That's what they wanted. They got it.
They're even tipping him. The enemy team is tipping him too.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Gonna make them work.
And they do not like to give up. I mean, it's commendable,
yeah.
But you know, like,
23 kills, 2 deaths, 28 assists. If my math is correct, that is 50, well, not 52 kills of the 59. That is so much kill participation in a game where you've got almost 60.
Middle tower has fallen.
yeah. We said 40k last game was a lot of goal difference. Now it's supposed to 50.
Get the other tier 4.
Slowly hitting the down.
Now it's time to take the throne. 3v5. Do we see anything left from Vice? Potentially. Crippling Fear comes in, but the Ancient not going to live long enough for this to matter. They do end up taking the Windranger at the end of the day, but that is it for Vice. 2-0 for 496. That looked really